Hello, lovely internet strangers. As you can see, I do have a face, and I'm not just an avatar of the character of Alice from the Lewis Carroll stories. I have finally left the publishing industry, and I'm just feeling a lot braver about showing my face. If someone really wants to dox me, obviously sunglasses and a hat aren't going to do me much good, but they do help me to feel a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera, which is something I'm not used to. And at least for now, it can be my aesthetic. So I wanted to tell everyone who subscribed what I've been up to for the past year and why I haven't uploaded and why I've decided to start uploading again now. Section 1, health issues. So looking at me, I may look perfectly healthy, and you may think, what possible health issues could this person have? However, about a month after I posted my last video, I got some news about my health that was not life-threatening, but something that had the potential to be life-threatening in the future if not dealt with. In the wake of that, I ended up really going all in to address various health issues that I've had, and that's involved completely changing my diet, changing my habits from how much I sleep and getting up at the same time, really falling into research about health and wellness. I went on a diet that was this very specialized elimination diet. It involved a lot of tracking. I had to cook all of my meals, so that was taking up a lot of my brain space. Section 2 is mental health issues. As I said in my intro video, I've struggled with anxiety and depression for as long as I can remember, and the depression was really kicking my ass for the past couple of years, and it wasn't until April of this year that I finally managed to make a change that kicked the depression. But the anxiety is still there, and I think always will be there. I'm at the best place in my life that I've ever been. I haven't had a panic attack for over a year, which is really amazing. But earlier this year, even though I wasn't having panic attacks, I was still struggling a lot with anxiety, and anxiety takes up a lot of mental energy. And also some of the anxiety was manifesting itself in perfectionism. That is the bane of my existence, has been since I was a very small child. Chris Reagan has talked about this, about the perfectionism that he feels when it comes to creating content for his channel. And although I'm obviously nowhere near Chris Reagan in terms of, say pressure from having so many subscribers, I do still feel that pressure to put out really good content, especially in a marketplace of ideas and content that is already so saturated and crowded. And it wasn't like I didn't make any attempts on my channel this year, because I did. I started writing a lot of different scripts. I was taking notes on different books I was reading, and I would jot down ideas, and there were a few scripts that I got really close with, and a couple of times I sat down to record something, and then I just never did anything with it. I'd get part of the way there and then get all in my head about it and think I should be doing something different and that no one would be interested and that it wasn't going to be good enough. And so I just wouldn't do anything. Section 3 is feeling behind all the other content creators out there, feeling like, I should have made this channel 2 years ago. Is there anything really left to say? Do I have anything to contribute beyond maybe some of my insights from inside the publishing industry? But when it comes to other things like commentary on feminism or any of those other perennial topics everyone likes to discuss here, does my story matter? If I did a video about how I left feminism, or would people be better off just watching, an interview with Cassie J? Maybe my voice being one more in the choir is relevant enough, but I wasn't very good at following Jordan Peterson's rule this year that says compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. That's been a struggle for my whole life, and I would just see some new channel pop up with a woman talking about kind of similar things that I want to talk about. Someone write an article and I wish I had written it, I wish I could do that. I just saw some video posted today where I was like, damn it, I should have done that video like a year ago. Now no one's going to care because someone else did that video. And I know that's not true, because I know that I will watch videos on the same topic if I like the creator, but regardless, I just felt behind. And so the longer that I waited this year to upload content, the more I just felt like I was falling further and further behind, and maybe regretting a little bit that I hadn't been putting out content over this period of time and documenting how my thinking had changed, which would lead to the next section, section 4, which would be I've had a lot of shift in the channels that I'm following and the topics that I'm interested in and what I spend my time thinking about. When I started this channel, I was more interested in talking about feminism and economics and politics. And it's not that I'm not still interested in those things. Feminism, I'm definitely still interested in talking about, but I would say the way I would discuss it has changed. Although sometimes I'm just sick of talking about it altogether. Politics, I have been on Twitter so much less. It's a change I made for my mental health. So I miss a lot of the day-to-day political happenings. Maybe I'll see something one of my lefty progressive friends posts when I'm scrolling down Facebook because I hate myself. Other than that, I haven't been following politics much, and I've been more interested in kind of the perennial issues like philosophy, and I've just been listening to a lot of conversations. I really like Rebel Wisdom, which is a relatively newer channel. They've been talking to a lot of really interesting people. There are 3 channels that I really like, and I kind of see them all as being related because they talk to one another. So Benjamin Boyce, who blew up after he started reporting on what happened at Evergreen since he was there finishing out his studies. I love his channel. I love hearing his commentary on different articles, and I really like the conversations that he has with people. I think that he's a really thoughtful interviewer, and I like that he has a sense of humor about himself. And the 2 other channels are people he talks to on a regular basis. So Poe the person, who I discovered after she made her video about the Google memo, which is probably how everyone else found her channel. And I've stayed for the rest of her content because I feel like it's always very authentic and thoughtful. And she's not afraid to provide some personal anecdotes that maybe don't paint her in the best light, which I think is really interesting, and I really respect her for that. And then the other one would be Alf's Void, who I think I discovered through Benjamin Boyce, and I really liked her videos about feminism, and I enjoy listening to her talk about things like theories of labor and Marx. I like hearing about those things from someone who's clearly read about them and thought about them, even if I'm probably never going to be a fan of Marx. I've also been more interested, as I said, because of my health issues, in all kinds of wellness topics, research on mental health, physical health, techniques for setting goals and routines, productivity. I've really gotten back into psychology and neuroscience and reading about those topics. I've been really interested in research on psychedelics. I've been really interested in following people talking about their journeys towards spirituality and how spirituality seems to be having a moment right now. I also am much more comfortable calling myself a libertarian these days than a classical liberal. Classical liberal probably still applies, but I think that libertarian is probably more accurate. I don't really feel like I've read enough or know enough of the arguments to really say, okay, I'm a libertarian. But on the axis of authoritarianism versus libertarianism, which is what I really care about, I'm definitely a libertarian. And I know that a lot of people on the left and progressives call themselves liberals. They don't realize that progressive and liberal mean something different, especially because a lot of people on the right talk about libtards and owning the libs when really they're talking about either lefties, left-wingers, or progressives. I was trying to preserve the word liberal, and I still think it means what it means, that liberalism has a meaning. But when you're talking to people who consider themselves liberals but are actually progressive, calling yourself a libertarian helps them understand a little bit better that, oh, actually, we have very different values, and we have a very different approach to how we think the world would be improved. The next point is a shift in my feelings of alienation. I'm still feeling alienated, don't get me wrong, but last year I was feeling really, really, really lost. I went back to therapy for the first time since college and talked a lot about losing friends over my political beliefs, my ideological beliefs, and just feeling like I didn't know how I was gonna connect to people anymore, except not being my authentic self. Since then, I would say I've come to terms with things a little bit more. I've become a little more confident in myself, and I've been doing a lot of introspection this year. I was working a lot on goals this year. I got a goals journal. I wrote out 10 goals for myself, and I haven't accomplished them all, but I have made significant progress in all those directions. One of the things I did was start dancing, which was something I've always wanted to do and never felt confident enough to do, but dancing has given me a lot of confidence in myself that has transferred into other areas of my life. And one of my other goals was to get a new job by the end of the year. And as I said at the top, I finally left publishing. I'm not planning to use my real name or talk about where I work on this channel, but my new job is not in the publishing industry, and I'll be working with people who don't all agree with me either, but are closer to sharing my values. And so bringing my professional life into alignment with my personal values is a big shift. And that's making me feel a lot more confident, both because I visualized something for myself that I was able to make into reality, and because I won't have to censor myself at work the way that I have been. And when you work a 40-hour-a-week job, that's a not insignificant amount of your life. So I'm feeling less alienated in that sense. However, I do still feel an alienation when it comes to women that I can talk to honestly, the only woman that I can speak almost freely on political topics would probably be my mother, which is very strange. I have one friend who knows my former feminist status. I don't think I've ever said to her that I'm an anti-feminist. And she knows some of my other political beliefs. We've talked at various times and it's gone okay. We had a decent conversation about abortion a while ago, but I see what she posts on Facebook, I see what she posts on Twitter, and occasionally I will engage with her, but I also know that it's more emotionally fraught for her than for me. I'm not in that feminist headspace anymore, so I don't get super emotional when there's that disagreement, but I can tell that she does. And like, I value our friendship and I don't need for us to talk about those topics to have a decent friendship. So a lot of the times I just don't push it if it doesn't come up. And one of my other friends, I more recently became very explicit with her about not being a feminist anymore and about being a libertarian. I had hinted that I had had a shift at various times and kind of skirting around the issue, and I had started to become paranoid about her not knowing and just wanting to feel more authentic with her. And so I did, and it didn't go super well for some other reasons more related to her personality. I could do a whole storytime video on that, but I will say that since then, even though we kind of got to a place where it was like, it's fine, I really don't know that it is. And she posted something on her Tumblr not too long ago about sometimes you evolve past people and you just kind of have to let it happen and accept it. But ever since then, I've just gotten this feeling like she's keeping things really surface level, and so I'm feeling like this friendship I've had with this person that's lasted since I was 15, I don't know if that's a person that I can be my super authentic self with anymore. Basically, the only people I have in my life that I can talk to about anything, so not just political, but what's going on with me, health-wise or anxiety-wise or relationship-wise, they are all men. I have my boyfriend, I have my best guy friend, and I have a friend / lover who I met through the alternate OkCupid profile that I mentioned in my intro video that I had made, who was also someone who was a lefty who left the left. And those are the only people that I can really be like my totally authentic self with. And I've always had an easier time connecting with men, so maybe it's not that unusual. I've been described as masculine of center. When I was younger, girls would tell me, you're just like a guy because you like guy things, you like action movies, and you do martial arts, and you play video games, and you're really aggressive, etc. And so I've always struggled with connecting with women. I've always had strong female friendships, but I've always felt this like disconnect from certain aspects of female friendship expectations, I suppose. So I guess I'm kind of hoping that this YouTube channel can help connect me with other women that I could talk to, even if it's only through the internet. And finally, I would like to talk about the future and what I see for this channel going forward. So I would still like to post about publishing things because even though I have left the industry, I was in it for 7 years and I have a lot to say, and I don't see anyone else on YouTube talking about it in the way that I plan to, so I still plan to go ahead with talking about publishing. I would also like to do some book reviews of books that I've read in the nonfiction realm. And I would also like to do some more storytime videos, getting more specific into how I lost friends over my political beliefs. I would like to do a video where I also get more specific about my journey out of feminism. It may be multiple parts because it wasn't an easy journey. And I would also maybe like to do a couple of recurring segments. One that I would envision doing is a weekly roundup of articles I read that week or videos that I watched and particularly liked and recommend, or offer a few thoughts about them, both recommendations for everyone else watching this channel and also kind of as a document of what I'm into in any given week and how that's evolving. I have ideas scribbled down. I could put out a video every day for the next few years with the amount of ideas I have. It's just a matter of setting the time and getting them done. And with all the changes I've made in who I spend my time with and in my health and my routines, I'm really feeling a lot more prepared, and I'm also just feeling a lot more motivated now, having made this change in my professional life, to really put a lot of effort into this passion project. And I hope some people will be interested in what I have to say, but if not, I'll just be here making a document for myself. So thank you for listening, and I will try not to go too long without posting another video. I definitely plan to have something up next week. So if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and I promise there will be more content very soon.